Welcome to episode 113 of Video Game Bullshit.
All right.
Welcome, and we are back. It's Kevin and I. We're here, ready to bullshit about some craziness that's been going on.
That's putting it lightly.
Well, it's been an interesting topic for the main one. Like we basically thought it would be cool to go over the month of June that just happened of 2023 and go over everything that's been offered for free or for download that's new, not what's already pre-existing, and then kind of go over values and what's the biggest bang for your buck for new games that are available. Now obviously these systems and these different things for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and then the Humble Bundle, which includes like PC gaming and Steam. They've been around for a long time, so their libraries are huge. However, we're going to go over what's new for the month of June because every month they're trying to snare us in and take our hard-earned cash. So, should be a cool one. But so Kevin, what have you been up to over the last couple of weeks? I know it's been holidays with 4th of July and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, the holiday was a fun adventure, like always, especially 4th of July. Can't remember if I've ever shared, but usually I invested like a long time ago. Those firing machine systems where you can actually remote control and then fire them all off. You get to use like electronic wicks, so you just tie them all up with a little electronic wire, hit a button, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can just shoot the mortars right off and everything. Yeah, did that setup with my my family. That was pretty fun. Got to do that for the 4th. Other than the 4th chaos, and then a recent local carnival coming into town. Just been enjoying family and fun and trying to stay awake. The way work's been with me and that kind of stuff. So, but how about you? Did you do anything fun for 4th?
Well, I am officially out of the hotel.
Nice.
So I'm in my house that I'm renting. So the place called Eva Beach in Kapolei. It's over near the west side of Oahu,
Okay.
southwest.
All right.
And everybody says that it's very dry out here, but we're pretty far north, so it's actually been very windy and very nice out here.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and we ended up moving into our house, leaving the hotel on the 4th of July.
Oh wow, that's fireworks for you.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is though, is that from you think about Hawaiian history perspective, they don't necessarily celebrate it as much as they would elsewhere because it's kind of when their, islands were taken over by America.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there were fireworks everywhere still,
Oh,
because
of course.
they're illegal and people
Mm-hmm.
don't care, so they're
Yeah,
all over the place.
pretty
And
much every state I've noticed, they don't
yeah,
care.
and I've heard though in New Year's they go crazy here for
Really?
New Year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Have to tell me how that works out.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, my house was rumbling on the 4th of July. It was
Mm-hmm.
craziness. Yeah. So basically, moved out of the hotel. The day prior, I linked up with one of the NES game developers that Premium is publishing, Bobby 67. It's an NES game that's up for pre-order right now. And Clay ended up coming onto Oahu for vacation with his family,
Oh, cool.
and he was right next door to our hotel. So I literally like walked next door and we had a drink at the
Oh,
bar there.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
that
Stars
was
align,
on.
man.
Yeah, that was literally the day on the 4th in the morning actually. So yeah, it was super cool. Got to hang out with him,
Hmm.
and like that was the first person that's visited since we got here. Um, yeah. So after that though, we did have they came and delivered our household on the
Hmm.
6th, and then the last few days I have spent with my wife unpacking, and our goal was like one room a day. And we had picked the whole downstairs the first day, which is literally dining room, living room, and kitchen, all one big open area.
Yep.
So that took us 2 days. And then now we are doing the master bedroom. The very first day though, we did my daughter's room because she wanted her gaming setup done.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So yeah, so right now we really only have a couple more rooms, and then we got to figure out like I was mentioning to you before we started recording.
Hmm.
I got a bunch of like hoodies and sweatpants, and
Yeah.
I don't need that out here. It's like 70 degrees year round, 80 degrees year round. I don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be collecting dust for a while.
Exactly. So, luckily, we have a pretty decent sized garage, but we also have a storage area underneath the stairs here in the house.
Hmm.
So, I'm gonna do a combination of that, of like storage and things. And I think my wife got vacuum sealed bags so she can like shrink it all down really small.
Nice. That'll
Yeah.
preserve well.
Yeah. So we're gonna do all that, and then we're gonna start designing. And I went from a game room in Georgia to now a game corner in Hawaii, where I'm recording right now in the bedroom
Hmm.
over here with a fancy background.
Yeah. Well, luckily you got all the good modern gaming ways like that Steam Deck and stuff, so you don't need as much space. So works out, right?
Exactly. Yep. And that has actually been my newest project. Now that I'm here, I probably can download Doom Eternal.
All right. Yeah, actually have the bandwidth for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But also I was talking with Johnny and
Mhm.
Keenan, and they want to get Brutal Doom started.
Oh
So
wow.
we might have to figure out because
Hmm.
Kyle was our dude to get us all set up and linked up. We might have to
Yeah.
figure out the four of us to play some
Hmm.
Brutal Doom.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't played the latest build. I'm sure they keep updating it constantly, right? So it's
can
been a
only
while.
imagine.
Yeah.
It's been since we recorded that I've
Yeah,
played.
definitely, definitely.
So I'm like, ooh, that would be amazing to play some more Brutal Doom. So
Hmm.
that's the other thing. But my current project is I have a laundry list of games on Steam that are Metroidvanias. I'm
Gotcha.
part of a group on Facebook of Metroidvanias. So I went and I've been downloading, I think it's about 20 or so games right now that are Metroidvanias that I want to kind of see if any of them pique my interest for a game to play after, because I've finally taken Zelda out of my Nintendo Switch, Tears of the Kingdom. First time. It's really. And we'll talk in a little bit of what
Yeah,
I actually put in there in its place for now. Uh,
gotcha.
very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, fortunately, right now while I'm doing this whole move-in thing, I have some days off work.
Hmm.
So that's been nice. And I'm also like 20 minutes away from the office now instead of an hour and a half, which is nice.
Hmm.
So it's very, very convenient now for me.
Wow,
So
saves a lot of time.
yeah, and for you it's late. For me it's 2 p.m. right now. So I just
Exactly.
ate some lunch. Just ate
I'm
some lunch. Had some leftover pizza.
You're eating lunch and I'm putting on a nightcap in an hour, you know?
That what you call Benadryl? You just go.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much. No, no, just having kids, that's enough to put me out.
yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. So what have you been playing, Kevin?
Breath of the Wild, because I started a little bit later in the game because I got that for Father's Day, so I've been squeezing that
Yeah.
out. And I gotta say, it's pretty interesting because I'm trying to, really find the balance because you try to go and do adventures and then you realize you don't have enough hearts to handle what's going on. So it's like, I gotta do some shrines. And when I used to be able to play with my wife, literally I said, "Here, you do the shrines and I'll go on the adventures," and it kind of balanced out well. But yeah, we barely have enough time to do what we need to do, let alone play. So when we both can squeak out here and there, I've been having to do some more shrines than I care for. And I get it, the shrines are kind of cool, but I mean, at the same token, I rather just Skyrim it and go out on adventures than to be like, I got to do like 4 shrines to get like one little fraction of stamina so I can actually climb something. It gets a little
Yeah.
tiresome in the beginning, but what I have been enjoying about it so far is I kind of like all the little discoveries that you just kind of come across, like all those random caves with things and something to explore. And you know, correct me if I'm wrong, just because it's been so long. I bought Breath of the Wild when it came out and beat it back then, and that was back in 2017 or something. So I don't recall it being so like all those types of discovery things. It was a little bit more main story driven, not so many side quests. If I remember correctly, I don't think it was that. So seems more side questy this one. Not that that's a bad thing for Tears of the Kingdom, in my opinion. So
So you're playing Tears of the Kingdom, not Breath of the Wild.
yeah, yeah, that's what I was comparing it to.
Oh,
Says yeah, I'm
yeah,
playing
because
Tears of the Kingdom now. That one's got way more
you
side quests.
mentioned at the beginning that you
Yeah.
got Breath of the Wild, so I
Oh,
think
did
you
I
Freudian
already
slipped,
mix them up?
Freudian slipped it.
Whoops. Yeah, that's the problem with the graphic style. It looks like it's like this is a big
Yeah.
DLC. It feels like at one point.
Okay, yeah. So I actually personally like the new way that they do shrines in
Hmm.
Tears of the Kingdom. 100% way more side questy though. There's side
Yeah,
quests everywhere.
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like the way they do shrines. I also like that a lot of the explorations, like if you're finding like a different cave system or you're going in this different waterfall or something, you'll unlock a shrine that when you go into it, it just gives you the peace, gives you the
Yeah.
stamina or whatever. So that way, you don't have to go through another shrine. And then all the shrines this time seem a little unique and different.
Hmm.
But I've noticed you can like cheese almost every single one of them.
I've
Like,
noticed that a little bit myself. You can do that,
yeah,
especially like.
there's only one that was puzzling for me. Outside of that, all the rest have been easy. There was
Mhm.
this one that was like had a lot of grinding to it, and you had to like go up this big spiral thing.
Oh, I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I still couldn't figure it out. And I know you just got to you could like take a rocket fused to a shield and just go in the air and just fly over. I haven't done that yet.
Well, if you have the means, hey, you get in there one way or another, right? So I'm
Exactly.
kind of curious though. I haven't really looked up online at all on speedrunning and everything, but I thought it was so crazy how Breath of the Wild they could speedrun so easily. They'd like manipulate, get on a rock, and then hit the rock and then launch themselves into the castle and go beat the game. And I'm thinking they designed it this way because I'm sure you can't really cheese beat Tears of the Kingdom that way. I'm sure there's a lot of fail safes. It feels like in that game. Not that I looked into it, but that's my
Oh
guess.
no. No, I watched a few and there's so many glitches that they can do fall through walls based
Oh,
on
really?
certain.
They found it like
Oh
that,
yeah.
so they still can get through it fast if they want, but it's through glitches, not actual gameplay. I mean,
Correct.
yeah, legitimate gameplay because it was still legitimate on the Breath of the Wild. I think the speed run I saw that they just did that warp on a rock and they launched it perfect and got in there. I don't recall it being
Well,
like cheese through there, did they? I can't
the other
remember.
thing is though is I assume you've updated your version of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Um and when I played on the original one, I never updated it because you could duplicate items.
Oh,
There was
really?
glitches. So you could like go off of like a little platform and like jump.
Hmm.
And when you pause, you can hold like 5 items.
Yeah.
You press like B and X together
Hmm.
or B and Y together. No, yeah, I think it's B and X together real
Yeah.
quick and it'll unpause it and you'll drop it and you pause again. You keep doing it and it just duplicates and it keeps it in your inventory.
Oh,
And
that
you can
is
get like
slick.
tons of diamonds, tons of
Oh
stuff.
man, that's what I get for
Yeah.
keeping up to date. I should have just left
Yeah.
it offline when I plugged it in.
Well, and what I'm tracking is I turned off auto updates after I think it already auto downloaded the update.
Hmm.
So I hadn't closed the application until today.
Oh,
It like I kept it open because
nice.
I wanted to finally decide to play a new game finally.
Yeah.
But I had only been playing Tears of the Kingdom. Thing is, I've already beaten the game. I've already been just grinding stuff. I don't need any more duplication, anyways. So,
Yeah, I'm sure by
but
that
yeah,
point.
there was a crazy glitch though that I found that we talked about it. I think it was a few episodes ago, with Tristan and I. But it allows you to get the original Master Sword from the beginning of the game.
Oh, cool.
It's like a weird thing where you can like carry an item from your save to another save,
Hmm.
and that other save you start a new game and you go into the game and you
Yeah.
start the intro, then you pause and then you load into your new save and it like brings the master. It says
Wow.
MSG not found, and so and it cannot break. So I have
Really?
an then there's a way to fuse stuff to it. So I have an unbreakable Lionel fused Master Sword.
Well, is that not the thing to ice everything with in a hit? I tell you.
Well, and it's not like because there's people that are finding ways to get like crazy damage and stuff. I
Yeah.
just did it with a normal thing, so my
Hmm.
damage is like more than like a normal weapon, but it's not
Yeah.
like crazy. So it's still fun to play. Um, I did that, and that was about all I did. It's to me, it's the same thing as using a shit ton of amiibos and just
Hmm.
like getting your
Oh, I
drops every
see
day.
it. Yeah,
It's the
that's a good
same thing.
point. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Actually, there's
So
one thing that I noticed in the game that recently happened. I didn't realize because I played Breath of the Wild, obviously, on there. I went to the stable and I went to go board a horse, and then they had all my horses from Breath of the Wild in there. I didn't know those transferred over, and I'm like, sweet, all that effort I put in there actually came over. Is there anything else that transfers? Because I have been playing the game blindly. I don't have a guide or anything that transfers over in the game other than horses that I
I
might be missing
think
out on that you know of.
I think it's just the horses.
Okay.
Mine didn't transfer because I had the whole thing where when I played the original Breath of the Wild,
Hmm.
I deleted my save because I wanted to start again, and I didn't
Oh,
realize I could use a different profile and just start a new
yeah.
game.
Hmm.
So I jacked that up.
Dang.
So
Well,
I
you
had
made
no
up for it
horses,
with your master sword. So it evened
and
out.
I found a lot of horses by just doing side quests and
Yeah,
Tears of
yeah.
the
It was just kind of neat because I remember for fun I got like that Bertho, like that humongous horse that's super strong. It's like a Godzilla horse, and I had the fastest one and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of nice I got those at my disposal because I never was a big fan of hunting down horses, you know.
No, exactly. Yeah, at least I got an Epona and I got a
Mhm.
giant golden horse,
Yep.
so
And then you're in good shape with those. Yeah,
I'm
no
good.
worries there. But
Yeah, and
no,
I
that's
never.
cool.
And the thing is, though, with Tears of the Kingdom, unlike Breath of the Wild, there's not a
Mhm.
time where I'm just like running across. I'm always warping somewhere and then flying in. So I'll warp to like a
Yeah.
tower, myself in the air, and then just
Hmm.
glide where I need to go. That's how I traverse Tears of the
Good efficiency. It's very well worth to get to all those towers and just tag them on your map and be cooking to every spot you need to go. As long as,
Kingdom.
time is a thing, but some people like to just, blindly walk through, and you can do that too if you got the time for it. That'd be fun, but
Well,
you
it's
and me
fun.
don't have it, so we're gonna zip there. Take the express
Exactly.
train. But no, I don't want to get too much on the Zelda. So I've been playing that, and then when I have stints of time, I've been playing the horde mode of Doom Eternal, like we talked about last time.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
yeah,
I gotta get up on your level then.
yeah, well, no, I ain't what I used to be. If anything, it makes me feel old because they are pretty difficult. These horde challenges. I don't know if you remember in in Doom 2016 if they did it so much, but it feels like Mario and Doom. They like do these challenges where you got to like jump and then like use your shotgun chain and grab something in time and then hit a platform and not get hit by literally like fireballs and stuff. And it's like an obstacle course. And they add these to the horde challenges, and I'm like, man, I just feel old because I can't even do half of them to get through it. Luckily, they're not required. You just get bonus points if you can do them. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
literally just got
Oh,
to run and jump through all these crazy obstacles like it's double dare, but with like death. If that makes
double death.
sense. Exactly. That's what it basically is. But other than that, I just been chipping away at that, slowly getting through it. So but the real
Nice.
question is, what have you been playing? Because I know it's gonna be a little bit different than me, I'm sure.
Oh, it's definitely different.
Hmm.
Um, so my random tandem game that I played,
Okay.
is called Cube World. And Cube World was like Minecraft. You create a character, but it doesn't seem super easy to get weapons and items. It was kind of like a bootleggy Minecraft.
Okay.
Um, there was no notification when I was leveling up stuff or any of that, but I was just running around. And then so I wanted to get a little bit established and I'd take it over to my daughter and see if she approves. And she
Hmm.
said, "Nope, looks like garbage." So you need to
They'll
stop
tell you.
playing that game.
Love her
Um,
honesty.
and then in the Cube World version, there's another game called Craftopia.
Okay.
And that one was interesting because it's essentially a bootleg version on Steam
Hmm.
of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like it's definitely glitchy as hell, but
Yeah.
it does seem like something once I feel like going back into a massive game,
Hmm.
I might jump in on my Steam Deck just to mess around every once in a while.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun. I could imagine.
Yeah. Yes, I played it for a little bit, but I definitely didn't put a lot of time into it because I wanted to kind of save it for when I have some energy to play it.
Yeah.
Um but the main game that I was playing over the last week though, I jumped back in on my Steam Deck into Vampire Survivors since
Ah, I
we were
remember that.
about
Yeah.
that. We were talking about it
Hmm.
coming to Switch, and it's going to have 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
And they noted on Steam that it's also going to have 4-player couch co-op and within a
Nice.
but I've been playing it, and I finally got to the point where as you keep leveling up and getting more and more stuff, you can go longer and fight longer and
Yep.
do all these extra things. So now I'm to the point now where I have like probably 14 different characters unlocked, lots of
Hmm.
different weapons. And then now I can get to the point where I can get all the way to death, and death kills you like automatically. Yeah. Yeah. There is a way to kill death, but you have to like do a bunch of unlocks in order and have like a perfect run so you can
Oh
damage.
man. Yikes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then you unlock death and get to play as death. So that's pretty cool.
wow. Well, you deserve that reward if you can do all that lining up perfect, right?
Exactly. But yeah, the game's really fun, addictive. It's
Mhm.
mindless. You just dodge everything and go around and
Yeah, it's like a kind of platform where you just want to zip through and have fun, and No, I like it. I kept seeing, looking at the pictures. It's on my bucket list. I actually wrote it down since you had talked about it last time. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the closer I get to Halloween, the more likely I'm going to have a chance to pick it up because I'll be itching for something like that then.
Well, and the fact that they're doing a Netflix series on it, and
Yeah.
it sounds like it'll be pretty awesome in order to just keep playing and have
Hmm.
fun with it. And
Oh,
maybe
I'm
they'll get
with you.
Castlevania license. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, it would. A lot of
But
inspiration from it.
the other game, which I only played today,
Yeah.
but game that I took my Nintendo Switch cartridge of Zelda out of the slot and put in there,
Hmm.
I played AEW Fight Forever.
Oh, I've seen that one. How did that turn out? Was that a good one?
Yeah, so it was interesting because that game AEW's been around for like 3 or 4 years now. The wrestling
Yeah.
promotion, it's like
Hmm.
something that's an alternative to watching WWE.
Yep.
And Chris Jericho's in it, and a bunch of different wrestlers now, CM
Hmm.
Punk and a bunch of guys.
The new
And
WCW.
basically,
That's what it seems like.
but they started making this game when they announced that the company was coming. They started
Hmm.
working on a game. They wanted to do something in the vein of WWF No Mercy or
Yeah.
WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Hmm.
They got the original team from, or one of the original developers from AKI or Aki or one of those.
Yeah.
Some of the original guys. So
Hmm.
to me, it feels like a modernized version of those games. It even has only the little original intro where they come in and then it didn't show them going all the way down.
Oh,
Like it just
nice.
has them coming through the curtain and then they kind of like do a pose and
Yep.
then they just move on to the next person.
Get straight to business.
Exactly. It is all AEW characters. There are a few secret characters like Owen Hart's in there.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's cool.
yeah. They do an Owen Hart tournament every year with support from Owen Hart's wife and everything.
Hmm. Oh,
So
cool.
it's pretty cool. One thing that they jacked up is I pre-ordered the game on Amazon. All
Hmm.
pre-orders of AEW are supposed to come with Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy, the
Yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah.
And mine didn't come with it. And then I found out
Huh.
later, like by doing research,
Hmm.
that only Amazon didn't opt in for the pre-orders, so they're not getting pre-orders. You don't get the pre-order bonus.
Oh, what a
And so when
jip.
they put a freaking wrestler behind a paywall, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, that's kind of what this world's getting to with greed and nonsense sometimes.
Yeah. Um, so from a gameplay perspective, you have punch and kick,
Hmm.
grapple. You got a little Irish whip button. You're
Yeah.
always like running around. You can unlock other abilities for characters. So like for your created character, you can unlock abilities like where you can like springboard off of something if you want to, or you can make yourself like a big super heavyweight or like different stuff like that.
You still
Um,
have like that taunt meter and you build up your like whatever machismo or whatever it is, then you get super
yeah,
strong.
they call it a special and a finisher, I think, or something like,
Gotcha.
or signature and something, signature and
Hmm.
a special, I think.
Okay.
So what's interesting though is so you build it up and you get your signature move. You can knock out your signature move by pressing the D-pad.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily deplete your whole spirit though. So then you
Hmm.
could still hit your taunt, get to your special, and do your finishing move.
Oh, that's cool.
And the finishing move basically finishes off the character to where
I,
you can put them too.
I, I would think so.
Just
That's
not
usually
well.
how
The old
it's
games
intended.
did,
No, yeah, you're
yeah.
right. You could like keep doing the finisher and they'd still magically get up, and it's like, come on, dude. How many times they got to put you in a, figure four, and then you still get up?
Yeah. So now from a limitation perspective, I'm playing on Nintendo Switch, so I'm not
Yeah.
playing it on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series
Okay.
X. Graphics are a little bit weak on the Switch version. Even like the little versus screen is
Hmm.
blurred. It's like blurred.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? So,
Uh.
and I did have one point when I was playing, I think it was my third or fourth match. I was just playing a one-on-one exhibition,
Hmm.
and it just like paused, and like my whole Switch glitched out.
Huh.
Yeah. So
Maybe updates. You never know.
yeah, there was already
Might
one
help.
update that came out, but maybe they're gonna have to. They'll probably continue to fix it or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's a little bit glitchy, but the game plays great. I've only played one-on-one matches, tag matches, and I played a battle royal. You can
Hmm.
only have 4 characters in the ring at a time, so the battle royals are like, you
Okay.
know,
That is
4 characters.
classic. They only allowed like four on the older ones too. I remember.
Yeah.
So.
So there's that. The creation mode, so they have the character creator.
Hmm.
It has like 8 faces or something. Like it's very
Yeah.
yeah. because I think nowadays in the WWE games you can adjust cheekbones and noses and
Oh, you
ears.
can get real detailed, like a
Yeah.
avatar of whatever you want.
And this one just has like 8 or 9 preset faces and all that
Okay.
stuff. So,
Yeah,
um,
quick pick up and
but
go.
you and I don't have the damn time to be messing with all that creative stuff, anyways.
Hell
So
no.
I was fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. Give me somebody and I'll go.
Create a little character that kind of looked like me
Hmm.
and called it old Hagen Dragmeyer, and
Nice.
it says the character because they have the announcer will say something you have to
Hmm.
choose. It says Hager Dragon, so
Love
it's
that abbreviation.
close enough. Um, and it's pretty cool though. And then the best part that I played so far, it's called like Road to Elite mode or something,
Hmm.
and it's a full-fledged story mode.
Oh,
And yeah, so you starts off, you're like in the gym, and the owner of AEW calls you and offers you a contract, and you go and make an appearance in the Battle Royal.
okay.
I immediately got my ass knocked out because and they keep track of the wins and losses. So I already got a loss.
Oh,
And
that
then
happens.
you go in, and the guy who actually threw me out, you start a mini feud with him, and then you like go through, but you have like 4 actions a week, and then the week, so you can go and work out.
Hmm.
And then it depletes like your health bar, or like you have like a little like energy bar, and then you have a motivation bar and some other stuff. So it's kind of
Huh.
like a mini like RPG almost.
Hmm.
And so you go there, you go work out. I think there's a chance where you could get injured or not. And then there's also you can go eat food, which will replenish your stamina. And it
Hmm.
shows like a local cuisine. So like you're in New York, it shows the New York style pizza. And you can choose
That's
if you want to be
funny.
vegetarian or not, which is hilarious. I was like, no, I'm not being a vegetarian.
Yeah, that'll give you plenty of power.
And when you start it, too, you can choose if you want to be a hero, a villain,
Yeah.
other stuff too. I chose hero this time. Um, and then the other thing you can do is like a go out.
All right.
And so the going out is you can go out sightseeing, which I haven't done yet. You can go what's the other one? Go do a press conference, which will give you like a little bit more spirit.
Okay.
And then the other one
What does
is
sightseeing give you?
it builds up your spirit a little
Oh, the
bit.
sightseeing does it? Okay, I was just
Yeah.
curious. What's that gonna do?
And then the other one is like bonus game or something.
All right.
And basically, there's a YouTube channel called Being the Elite that the
Hmm.
Young Bucks have been doing before AEW is a thing. It's called, they just go around and do skits.
Yeah.
Well, they started this whole challenge thing where there's a championship that they have, the BTE championship and all this. And in
Hmm.
this game, you could do little bonus games based on the show. So,
Hmm.
but they're all like mini games within it. So one of them was there's 4 characters. You have to run around and collect coins
Oh
faster than
wow.
in the
It's like a
wrestling.
Mario Party game.
Exactly. And it's hilarious. The other one was answering quiz questions about AEW.
Oh, perfect. Then it's like Double
Yeah.
Dare.
Yeah.
One way or another. That's always fun. A little diversion, you know.
Yeah. So I've now played three weeks of the game.
Hmm.
2 of them have been tag teams where I'm tag teaming with the guy who eliminated me and we got a little healthy relationship, whatever. But I've noticed that I'll start it with a workout, then I'll do a game, then I'll eat, and then I'll do another workout. And it
Hmm.
shows the percentage of you're going to get injured. After you eat the workout, you get 0% injury. So
Huh.
works.
Interesting.
That
That'll
works for me.
work.
Yep. And then I went into then you go into the match. So far though, it's made it really fun and it's a really quick pick up and play. So I think it's going to be a perfect one for me to hop
Yeah.
on.
No, definitely pick up and play is key for us, man.
Hmm.
I ain't got 10
And
times, an hour of a tutorial. Is there a big tutorial or anything, or just straight into it?
they pop up and say, "Hey, this is how you wrestle. Press Y to attack."
Got it. Okay, good.
And it
Not too
says you
much
can
hand
press
holding. Yeah.
L of the R to do reversals and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But it just pops up for a second, the first time, and
Gotcha.
that's it. Yeah, so it's not been no long tutorial, none of that. It's a good one. I think it's going to be a little fun one to keep playing while I work on getting Doom Eternal installed.
Yeah, you'll have some time for that.
Yeah, especially it's was it 80 gigs, 90
Oh,
gigs.
yeah, it's up there. Definitely up there. Close to 100, I'm sure.
That's
So,
hilarious. If I had my Xbox One here, which I don't have space for,
yeah.
but I did. I have it on Xbox One.
Yeah, it'd cook on there, I'm sure. So, but which laundry list we starting with, speaking of Xbox?
Let's do Xbox first.
Why
So
not?
yeah, so let's move over to the main topic. Like
Mhm.
we talked about, we're going to cover what games are released for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Humble Bundle for the month of June that just happened. And then we'll go on our own opinions and who actually feels like they're the best value, the coolest one of the month,
Yeah.
and we can just decide that. So for Xbox, we got a couple different ones, but these ones are ones that were added to Xbox Game Pass.
Hmm.
So what that means is, Xbox Game Pass, you can essentially play all the stuff on Game Pass for free every month as long as it's on Game Pass. You don't get to keep the games, from what I'm tracking.
Hmm.
And then you just get to enjoy them.
Yeah.
And some of these are available now on console, PC, and cloud. And so what I do with my Xbox Game Pass right now is I play it on my Steam Deck through the browser, basically with the cloud mode. So if it doesn't
Okay.
offer cloud mode, I can't play it. So
Mm.
in some of these, I won't be able to play them because they don't support cloud mode. Um, so basically, the games that were, and the thing is too, is then we're not going to cover this stuff too, is that all these systems, especially Xbox and PlayStation, will remove games every month too. So if we're talking best bang for your buck, like, oh,
Hmm.
what got removed, but we don't
Yeah.
know that. We're also not going to talk about what's already pre-existing on these services because
Okay.
again, that would require a lot of research that we're not going to spend time doing.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. So Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 was released. I'm not gonna play that.
I
Um,
mean, the idea and the concept sounds really interesting and cool, but I mean, unless you're like really into, we'll say specifically that, I don't really see the appeal. Other than I don't think that I've ever seen anything that similar. Other than remember they had that you could be a car mechanic in that Vacation, or was it that VR game that they did? Why am I not thinking of it? Something simulator, office simulator, like the computer screens. Ah, crud.
Office Simulator.
Yeah, you could be that was one of the jobs you could do on there, was be like a car mechanic. That's what it makes me think of for some reason. But it was all like a joke, and of course I'm drawing a blank on what's the name of the damn game, but that was on PS4 VR, I remember. That's what reminded me of. So interesting, but not for me. That's all I could say, like you're
Yeah.
probably saying with this.
Next one that's on the list is called Slayer's X Terminal Afterbirth.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like a boomer shooter, aka Doom.
Yeah, yeah, it
Like
does.
this one looks really, really, really cool.
This looks
Um,
like it came straight out of the 90s from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, exactly. And it says basically like you have 7 weapons, blood and gore,
Hmm.
like some twisted music, which sounds like it was 98. They started making it in 1998 in high school with their friend.
Oh,
Now,
really?
now he's 37.
Yep. Well, time to get it out there. Better late than never, right?
Exactly. So that one looks like a must play.
Yeah,
Like
no, I'd give
players.
this one a whirl just for the nostalgia look of it.
Exactly. Next one on here is called The Big Con, an adventure puzzle game that's on there.
Hmm.
You're basically in America in the 90s and you're just like walking around and doing different adventure based stuff. So like doesn't look too actiony.
Yeah,
Um
looks
looks
like a
interesting.
Leisure Suit Larry or something. You just kind of, or a Sierra game, walk around, click and point.
Exactly.
I mean, those
I
games
mean
are all right.
interesting and for being able to play these for free with a subscription, that's not
Yeah,
bad. Um
and it's a variety. I bet when you're getting stuff for free, it's good to have variety. You wouldn't want to just get all some type one genre, So I get it.
yeah. Next on the list is Amnesia the Bunker. It's a first person horror game set in a World War I bunker.
Oh, is this a sequel to another game that was called Amnesia?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, because that sounds familiar. I could have sworn it was like a PC game or
Yeah,
something, and then
pretty
they
sure
ported it,
they're
and then they ported it over to. I want to say it was like a free download for PS4 at one point in time. I played for a bit. It was interesting. Yeah, this
yeah.
one looks like a good like spooky game if you're in the mood for that.
Yep,
Not bad.
exactly.
Yeah.
Next one on here is called Hypnospace Outlaw.
Oh, what's this
Um,
one look like?
basically it's another game that's like a 90s internet simulator.
The '90s are coming with full steam. It seems like lately with things.
Exactly.
Let's see
supposed to be
here.
wild looking. Like it looks very, very interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm starting to look at the pictures now. Whoa. Yeah. Looks like you're in an AOL browser. I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I mean, some of these I wouldn't be buying on my own, but
Yeah.
like,
But I'd try it if it's already, came in with it. So
yep.
yeah, that looks funny.
Um, Next one on the list is Rune Factory 4. Huge freaking game. I know 5 was
Whoa.
just recently released, but Rune Factory 4
Hmm.
was released in 2021. I think we had covered it on the old premium playcast because Barry on there loved this freaking game. It's a giant game. There's so much crafting in it though that for me it was like a
Yeah.
turn off, but like the action based parts were awesome.
Hmm.
So
Well,
like you go off into the off into the world and the dungeon and stuff, and it's really cool. But then you
hmm.
go back to the town and you only have so much energy to do stuff. But like the Rune Factory games are a huge value for the
Well, bang for your buck, I'm sure, definitely.
exactly. Next
Let's
one
see.
on the list is Stacking, which was a 360 game. Looks like the old Marishon dolls or whatever they're called.
Yeah, yeah. Now you hit that right.
An
Yeah,
action adventure
this,
game from Tim Schafer's Double Fine Productions.
huh,
Russian stacking dolls, that's what they're called. Um,
looks unique. I'll give it that.
Puzzler and challenges.
Huh.
I'm okay on it. Like it's
I mean,
nothing to write home about, but
looks like attention to detail on the graphics for what it is. I mean, looks good. Very
hmm
nice. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be
um,
an interesting one.
next one's another action adventure game called Door Doggone.
Door dog. I don't know that one. Let's
or
see
Dog
here.
Door Doggin. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see.
but it looks like a little adventure game where like it's like
Oh,
everything's like a painting. It looks
okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's got a real interesting, unique art look to it. Kind of
Yeah.
like a watercolor game graphic style thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the cool
Cool.
thing about like all these systems is that they have so many cool little games you may not have heard of.
Hmm.
So it's like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next one's an F1 game, F123. I'm not a big fan of, those type of games.
Yeah, I can't say I've played when it comes to racing, sorry, I'm just a destruction derby guy at the end of the day. When it comes to like that intricate super fast F1 racing, I mean that's too much attention to detail for me. I'll just end up crashing a lot, I'm sure. So I didn't get in
Well,
those neither.
well, like after Destruction Derby, I did like playing the Burnout games.
Oh,
And
those are more arcade. I was thinking, yeah, arcade
yeah,
racers is the best way to say it. I'm always up for arcade racing. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the F1s are more sim than arcade. So
probably.
yeah, when something looks more sim, even like Gran Turismo, as cool as that game was when it came out, you can only enjoy driving a Honda Civic for so long, and then getting
Exactly.
farther. Yeah, sim games are kind of rough for me, but I will admit, to kind of goes with this. What was it as like Forza Motorsport was free on the Xbox at one point. I did install that, and for it being, I feel it's a pretty simulator. Just the variety of cars they had was pretty interesting. I could, grab a Buick Grand National and put it against some other crazy car was interesting for the time. So that's about as sim as I get when it comes to games for that. But speaking the opposite of sim, look at the next one on the list, right, Jeff?
Exactly. Good segue.
That's a
Yes, I
game
got
we could do.
Need for Speed Unbound. Next gen
Oh,
return to form for Need for Speed. So I mean, I did like the one where you were getting like chased by the cops. That was the one Need for
Most
Speed.
Wanted.
Yeah, that one was pretty damn fun.
Yeah, Most Wanted will probably always be my favorite too. I mean, it just is the timing and the game and the need for a game like that was just perfect when that one came out. But this looks
Exactly.
like it's like a maybe a newer variant to try to update what they did there.
Well, as
Interesting.
long as they make it feel more like a Burnout, where it's like,
Yeah,
because
Burnout
what I
really
like to,
did do a good job.
yeah, and I have Burnout Revenge on my Steam Deck installed on PS2, so I
Oh,
can play.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
so I can
always a good pick up and play, have fun with. But yeah,
exactly.
anything Need for Speed, I'll always give it a college try. I've always enjoyed the series over the years.
Exactly. So I say Need for Speed's a worthy one.
Yep.
But going along the action adventure route, we got another one of these little action adventure puzzle games.
Hmm.
This one is the Bookwalker Thief of Tales.
Hmm.
And it's a isometric looking game. So like isometric little action adventure style game. It's like narrative.
Yeah, it looks like a mixture of like Myst with an old original Diablo. you know, this is
Exactly. I
interesting.
mean, and that's not really my nostalgia, so I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't play it
this
much.
yeah, this is like we'll say a niche situation. You want to like chill and you want something just like this. It's like eggnog. I only want to do this maybe once a year. The type of game, you know.
Maybe once a century.
Exactly. There you go. So I don't
Um,
know.
the next one is another action adventure, almost like a little platformer, called Bramble the Mountain King. This
Hmm,
game though, like looks like a masterpiece. Like it looks
let's see
insane,
here.
fantasy based. Like it was released in April. It's
Oh
huge.
wow. Yeah, it's taking a little long for the photos on me, but wow, this looks yeah, that's some real
I'd say
I mean the
Bramble's really
definition on the graphics are pretty incredible, at least from what I can tell in the photos.
It's crazy that like that Bookwalker game that we
Uh-huh.
just talked about is
Yeah.
not available on cloud, but this
Hmm.
Bramble game is.
Oh,
So I
go
can cloud
figure.
stream this
Yeah,
freaking Bramble
really.
game.
This looks like it'd be harder. It'd struggle to stream
Yeah.
over the other one. Yeah, this one, as soon as I looked at it, kind of made me think. I don't know if you ever played on the PS1, Heart of Darkness. Made me think of that for some reason. That's a game
Okay.
where you're like a boy, and it's a really good graphical style, kind of like a Lucas Art look to it, if that makes sense, of the time in the '90s. And yeah, you're just like a boy that gets lost in a magical world like this, and it was on the PS1. So I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe it was some inspiration from there. We'll see. But
yeah.
I'd say that one is worth a try if you're into those type of games. It looks feasible.
Yeah. Um,
What's
next
next
game
here?
on the list is a Metroidvania action adventure game
Well, you'll be all over
uh,
that.
called Fist Forged in Shadow Torch.
Hmm.
Basically a lot of exploration, intense combat, and challenging platforming. But from the screenshots, you couldn't tell that it's a Metroidvania because it's very
Yeah,
dark
it
looking
looks.
game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like was it that mid
Plays a
two
lot.
thousands like dark game look to it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big fan of that
I
style.
mean, yeah, me neither. Unless it really fits the game for a reason. I mean, sorry, we grew up with the loud colors of '80s and '90s, so we're kind of suckers for that stuff. I'll just be honest. But
Yep.
it could still be fun though. I'm sure. It's got a
Yeah, and then
robotic rabbit. It can't be that bad.
I mean, there was those games on the Super Nintendo that were just terrible.
Yeah, that's true. We'll be fair.
Oh my goodness.
And,
Final game on Xbox that was released for the month of June for free on Game Pass is basically their answer to Animal Crossing.
mm,
And it's basically Store of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. I think it's
oh,
created by the those that made Harvest Moon because they
ah,
Harvest Moon
it
lost
looks
the
like that.
lost
Yeah.
because I think they lost the name. So the
Hmm.
Harvest Moon games are more like cell phone style games, and now Store of Seasons is like what Harvest Moon was.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and this is also in the same vein of a Rune Factory 4 that we talked about.
Wow.
So
Got a
there's like
lot of things
two.
fused in this.
Yeah, this one's another crafting game and just running around. And again,
Yeah.
me with no time,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. That's not a fit for me neither. I'm sure it does have its fun for the audience that's got the time for it, but unfortunately not a fit for us.
yeah, and I mean the stuff um that left Game Pass this
Hmm.
month it says is Bridge Constructor Portal, which is a 2D style portal game.
Yeah.
Chorus Maneater, Mortal Shell, Serious Sam, and Total War Three Kingdoms. A lot of those games I don't really know. And
Uh-huh.
then Serious Sam, those first person shooter. And
Yeah,
then there's
Serious Sam, I
another
remember that one.
six games leaving that just left too. DJ Max Respect 5, Empire of Sin, Match Point Tennis Championships, Ouija, Omori, and Road 96. Omori is like a little retro style game that's kind of like
Uh,
Undertale. But all the rest, like again, all the stuff that left Xbox Game Pass, there was just a link on the website that
yeah,
showed it.
that's
So it
handy.
looks like they remove about six games 15 days.
And I didn't even realize, to be honest, because I don't have Xbox Game Pass. I'm old school. I still got Xbox Live Gold. That's what I got. So you kind of own the game, I guess, as long as you got a gold membership. But I didn't realize that Game Pass was like Netflix. It's like you'll have these games for a month, you might not have them next month, and that kind of would concern me if I had that. Because what if you just started like one of these long-winded games on like the last week of June, and then the beginning of July, like that game's gone. You just gotta buy it if it's available.
If it's available. Now was there any games with gold released in June?
I think there were, because I usually I make it a point when I'm on there and I just hit download, so then they'll attach to my account so that I could re-download them again. Because if you don't do that effort, like put it in your queue, then it just doesn't stick to your account, and that's what I try to do to get obviously my money's worth. I'll queue it on there. But
it looks like you have Adios, the game.
Yeah.
And then the second one is The Veil, Shadow of the Crown.
Yeah, those sound familiar. I remember hitting it, and they looked interesting, and I'm like, yep, maybe one day. So I just kind of put them on there, and then it's just nice to put on my download list if I want to like do a random thing. Then those are available when I get to that time. So.
And I
but
don't
at
know.
least those stick to my Xbox Live account, though. That's the thing that's interesting. I've had stuff since the first day when it came out. I think one of the first things that was free with Gold was Volgar the Viking, and that's still available on my Xbox Live Gold because I've kept the membership since then. So that's kind of an interesting value when you look at it. Xbox Live Gold may not give you access to as many games, but at least what they do give you access to, if you go to the effort of downloading it, it sticks to your account for as long as I know, as long as the account is good.
Well, I think that one in PlayStation, you have to have a valid Xbox Gold or PlayStation account.
Okay.
If you cancel your Xbox Gold, you lose those games. You can't play them unless your Xbox Gold is active. It's the same with PlayStation Plus. So it's like PlayStation Plus free games, because PlayStation has both the Netflix thing and the free games. And maybe in the future we'll just cover the free games, be like faster.
I think that might be a good idea for the future, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Xbox list. Overall, that's a lot of variety. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And then your two games, they sound okay.
Yeah. They weren't anything to write home about, but I mean,
the three games that are available for free from PlayStation Plus, you get to keep forever. NBA 2K23.
Okay.
Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is I think it's a first-person dinosaur game.
Okay.
And then Trek to Yomi. Trek to Yomi was published by Devolver Digital. It's like looks like side-scrolling, almost black and white style game.
Gotcha.
Action adventure game, side-scrolling, melee attacks, light attacks, and stuff.
Wow.
So that one looks kind of interesting.
So and then that's it, though.
Yeah, and those are the three games that you get to keep. Now, their version of PlayStation Plus that you get to Netflix stream, you have a crap ton of games that were added. Have Rogue Legacy 2, which is like a Metroidvania, Far Cry 6, which is the first-person shooter, Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, wow, yeah, I see that list here.
Deus, Mankind Divided, Vampire the Masquerade, Lonely Mountains Downhill, which is like a little fun game. Go down a little bicycle. A Hat in Time, which is a 3D platformer. Redout 2, which is a racing game. Thief, which is like an open world game.
Yep.
I mean, like all those games in this giant ass list, man, are.
Yeah, they even got Paw Patrol.
They even got Paw Patrol for the kiddos, and my friend Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig. Oh, that sounds like a blockbuster. I can't wait to give that one a whirl. Right.
Winemaking simulator.
Everything's gonna be sim nowadays. It's hilarious. It's
like watch paint dry simulator.
Exactly. We got lawn mowing simulator. It exists.
Exactly. There's one here that I want to see, like Solstice. What is Solstice? Because that one sounds like it could be cool.
That rings a bell. Let me see. I probably got to see a picture for it to.
Oh yeah, it's a action adventure role playing game.
Looks like a Dark Souls type game just from the cover. That's what makes me think.
Looks really cool. So
Yeah, that is cool.
that one's a nice little fun one too. So all these games in this giant list are ones that you get to stream for Netflix. You get to
Gotcha.
keep those 3 games, like Xbox gives you those
hmm
2 games.
So they give you some keepers, and then they give you some streamers, and I see.
So where this is interesting, right, is that you have that. Now, have you heard of Humble Choice before?
Not until you brought it up.
So Humble Choice is the Steam version of Xbox Gold and the PlayStation Plus, where you get free games. This
Cool.
one is $12 a month, and this month they give you 8 games,
And you
and you
keep
get to
them
keep them. You keep them forever. You get
forever.
codes, so even if you don't do this Humble Select, they're yours
Really?
forever.
Oh, that's cool.
And so this month, and you don't have to take them all. You can
hmm
just take whatever ones you want, and then you
Yeah.
just the rest you don't have to. So you don't have to like load up your library.
Yeah.
So you have Ghostwire Tokyo, which
hmm
is a really crazy game. I don't know if you've heard of this one.
Nope. It looks crazy
Yeah.
from what I can see. Wow.
Yeah, it's an insane first person style action game by Bethesda. Um,
Oh,
what's
nice.
crazy is when you look at it, it also shows you how much these games cost. So that game alone is $60.
hmm
And
Yep.
it's $12 for all 8 of these games.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool, man.
Next one is a game called Remnant from the Ashes, which is an action adventure RPG. Kind of
hmm
reminds me of like a Dark Souls or a Diablo.
Yep. We'll put for
Um,
that.
and I have claimed both of those.
Okay.
Um, the next one is Curse of the Dead Gods, which is a update for Dead Cells.
Yeah.
So this is after the Castlevania. They just did another update
hmm
to Dead Cells. So another freaking
And they
crazy.
keep building onto this one more and more. Yeah, it looks
Exactly.
fun. Looks fun.
Um, this and then there's another game called I did not claim this game. It's called Honey, I Joined a Cult.
Oh boy. Well, if Rick Moranis ain't in it, I'm not interested.
He might be in it. I don't know. Interesting though, it's created by Team 17, but it's like a strategy simulation game. Like it looks like crazy.
Yeah, it makes me when I look at it, it looks like Prison Architect or something. I don't know.
Something
It,
weird
yeah,
like that.
it could be fun, I'm sure, but I just don't think I'd have the time and patience to give it a whirl.
Exactly. Um, Next one is a game called Eternal Threads, which is
Hmm.
a first-person story-driven puzzle game.
Yeah.
Um, I did not select it for this month,
hmm
or for that month, but looks cool. It's a $20 game. Um,
It looks like reminds me of ever play a Butterfly Effect on the
yeah,
PS4. It kind of looks like, for some reason, I thought of that when I looked at this because it's got kind of a spook to it, and since it says Eternal Threads, like maybe they'll intertwine to something. I don't know. I really enjoyed that. I know it was like practically an interactive movie, Butterfly Effect, but it was still a good movie.
Next one is probably my game of the month that they released. It's called
Ah,
Grime, Tinge
no.
of Terror.
What's this
Um,
one about?
it is essentially an action indie RPG, basically a
Hmm.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, it
Uh,
does remind me of that by the style here.
and I hadn't downloaded it yet because it takes a lot of space. It's a beautiful looking game,
Yeah, I was gonna say, this one looks like it's gonna take some space on there.
but awesome one.
Oh, it
Um,
looks like it.
Looks amazing. Then you have
Oh, this looks like my
Tur-
kind of game here.
Turbo Golf Racing.
Yeah, looks
Looks
pretty cool.
awesome.
Just a pick up and play, quick, fun one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
looks kind of like
what's the
Rocket
golf
League, but
aspect. Yeah, Rocket League,
well,
but how do you tie
it
golf to
looks like
that?
you like hit the ball through rings or something, and then
Oh,
it
okay.
goes to a hole at the end where you have to like hit it into the hole.
Ah,
Um,
that's pretty interesting. Yeah, instead of
it
Rocket League with soccer, you just get knock the golf ball there the first, right?
You could shoot stuff too, so it looks
Hmm.
insane. I definitely want to try it out, so I definitely claimed it.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
blame you on that one.
yeah. The final one is a strategy game called Meeple Station. It just looks like SimCity.
Whoa, I was just gonna. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, Sim City, man. Oof. Those were so
And
fun back in 8th grade, but not so much now.
exactly. So, I mean, so essentially, out of the 8 games, I claimed 5 in the month
hmm
of June. But so 8 games versus PlayStation's 3
Yeah,
versus Xbox's 2.
2. And you get to keep these. And the cool thing is, like, the codes that you got because you're part of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say that one of these games, like, you had no interest ever playing, you could technically give that code to somebody as a friend and be like, "Here you go, dude. I'll never play this, but I know you love these types of games. Here's the code." So you can actually,
Exactly.
yeah, that's cool that you can actually share it and be like, give it to people that you know would actually play it too. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a
Exactly.
lot of value there. I'm glad you brought this one up. I'm so out of the
Yeah.
loop. I didn't even know this one exists, but I don't Steam play much. That's probably why.
And they've already dropped the July games. They're
Hmm.
already available, and there's at
Cool.
least 2 or 3 games. There's at least 3 games that I'm going to claim. Maybe all of them, but we'll see. I'm going to
Got
look
it.
them all up. But we'll do that for a future episode.
Yeah,
So we don't
sounds like a plan.
take 17 hours talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
But yeah, well, we could talk during this month about that in the future. But
Sure.
yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, so for me, out of those three,
Hmm.
right? Because Nintendo, we're going to talk about too, but with Nintendo, it's the same deal. It's all retro, so there's no
Yeah.
games that you get.
Hmm.
So out of those three, for me, humble choice is the way to go. But you do have to have a PC that can play them,
Hmm.
or a Steam Deck like me. They all play on the Steam
Yeah.
Deck.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. I'd say that'd be a number one choice as long as you fit the equation, like your situation. You have a Steam Deck or you use Steam. But if you don't, then I think I'd lean towards the Xbox as the silver, the next pick for me after
for the
the
games that were
yeah,
available, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think only one of the games on PlayStation looked interesting,
Hmm.
whereas both games on Xbox seemed cool. Even though we didn't really
Exactly.
talk in detail about the Xbox games, they just
Yeah.
look like more action-based games this
Well,
time.
even when you look at the Game Pass, I like the big variety in there. You had a Need for Speed game. You had a game that was like sim racing, arcade racing. You had shooters. You had '90s aesthetic games. You had modern games. I mean, I really like that they're
For Game
stacking
Pass.
it that anybody, and I think out of a variety of people, everybody could find at least one or two games, no matter what type of gamer you are, that you'd enjoy in that list. From what I got out of
Well,
it.
the PlayStation one though did have Turtles in it and Rogue Legacy and a bunch of cool stuff in there. So
They
that
did.
but that is an extra plus plus.
Exactly. That's why I was kind of comparing it against. It's like, man, you got to do. And they did have technically the PlayStation Premium Classics too, right?
Yeah, and I don't think we talked about that, but
Yeah, we
their
skip. Yeah, we didn't add those. Which,
their
Herc.
classics were Worms,
Yep.
Herc's Adventure. What's
And
Herc's Adventure? Is that like a? Oh, I can't remember. I thought it
that
was
was
like
on that was on the Saturn and the PS1. It's like cartoony, and you go around. And have you ever played? Ah, man, come on,
I
old
thought it was
memory.
a spiritual successor to another game.
Yeah, it's like what's that Oasis game that's on like the Sega
Beyond
Genesis?
Oasis.
Yeah, Beyond Oasis. It's like that style of game, if that makes sense. And it's
Yeah.
kind of
Cool.
yeah, Eric's Adventure is pretty cool. I remember I've played it a bit in the past. It just my only complaint, I remember when I played it, like the enemies took a lot of hits for some reason. I remember, and I'm like, come on, dude, you don't want to go through the original Legend of Zelda and everything takes 5 stabs.
Yeah.
but
And
but
then you
other
have
than that, it was cool.
Killzone Liberation from the PSP.
Yeah, that's a unique one to have the PSP version because I know that was
Yeah.
exclusive to it. And
So so if we're going off of what's available for these streaming systems, I think
yeah,
PlayStation has a better variety from my perspective, just because it
yeah,
has the N64 style platformer Hat in Time. It has
okay,
Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is freaking awesome. It has that Souls-like game that looks cool, Rogue Legacy 2, which is a Metroidvania. You got the Dodgeball Academy game, which is an RPG dodgeball game. You got Red Out, which is like F-Zero, Thief,
hmm,
which is like it has a little something for everybody. And then you have the three classics. So for me, it seems like this, and there's other games we didn't even talk about,
yeah. I'm
like
trying to see
Forager,
here.
which is a 2D style Minecraft game.
Hmm.
Um, Vampire the Masquerade, which is a classic first person or third person, I think, vampire game. And of course you got winemaking simulator. You can make wine. Come on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put the icing on the cake with Peppa Pig and Paw Patrol as offered on the PlayStation group here.
And that's your
We could say
that's
it's more kid friendly maybe on the PlayStation one. That could be a win for people over the Xbox. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe
I
I just
just
got because of the racing stuff. I'm always a
here
sucker for racing games.
well, here would be my question too, though,
Yeah.
is that maybe some of these games that are being offered to PlayStation are already on Game Pass, though, because I already played Shredder's Revenge on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
So I think some of it's a moot point because I feel
Mhm.
like some of this stuff's already on Xbox.
Yeah, it's hard to cross-reference because that's a very valid point. It's like, dude, maybe somebody would be like, hey, 30% of these are already on Game Pass, so
The
so
interesting ones are already there.
yeah,
So
possibly. That's a
so
good
from
point.
a new perspective, if
Mhm.
those games are already on, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good way to
then
put it.
then we got for Nintendo Switch Online.
Mhm.
I think they have 8 different games for different consoles that they've released. Very, very weak amount, but Nintendo just sprinkles out crap to us whenever they want.
Yeah, it's not really
So
standard.
so we could talk about so for NES they released one title that I can see, and that is Tower of Babel on the Famicom. They're calling
Oh,
it Mystery Tower. They changed the name to
huh.
Mystery Tower.
I
I don't
guess
know.
Tower of Babel just offends too many people. I don't
Apparently.
know.
But that's a solid little platforming game. It's kind of like a little exploration platforming game.
Yeah,
I
it
thought it was
sounds.
a really, really fun one back in the day. I think Game Center CX Reno did an episode on it as well.
Mhm.
Um, and so that one I think is a fun one to try out.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. It looks like Solomon's Key look or something to it a little bit. I
Yeah,
don't know, something like that. So that'd be fun.
exactly.
Plus,
Um,
Tower of Babel's the name of a Doom level, so it can't be that bad.
always goes back to Doom.
Ain't it? All
Yep.
right. What's next on the hit list?
Super Nintendo Harvest Moon.
Yeah,
So
we all know how much we love those types of games, so it's not a
I
bad
mean,
game. Just don't have the time for it.
used to love it back in the day.
Hmm.
Um, we'll switch over to Game Boy, and you have Blaster Master Enemy Below, which Blaster Master is amazing. Love
Yeah.
Blaster Master.
Hmm.
Um, Enemy Below. I think the portable ones weren't that great, if I remember right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Is that the one that it was originally going to be a Bomberman game?
I think so. Like, I think it's not a
And then they just
no.
kind of used. No, this is a Game Boy Color. Never mind. This is actually a Blaster Master game. Sorry,
Yeah, this one's a.
I was thinking of the original Game Boy.
Now, if you aren't aware, Kevin,
Yeah.
Blaster Master Zero, 1,
Mhm.
2, and 3 were released on Switch, and they are excellent.
Oh yeah, I beat the first one.
First one's
Of
a
the
retelling of the original Blaster
Yeah,
Master.
I really
And
enjoyed that one.
apparently, the second one and third one are brand new Blaster Master games in the same vein of the remake.
Yeah,
And I
I did.
haven't played them. I played through, I want to say 70-80% of the first one. I didn't beat it.
I did 100% of the first one, and then it scratched that itch. And then when the sequels came out, I'm like, I'm good. I just got what I needed out of the first one. But if I get that itch again, I'd probably try continue that trilogy. It sounds like so. It's cool to know it exists.
Yeah. But Enemy Below, not really familiar with it.
Yeah,
I
me
just
neither.
know that
I'm
they were.
looking. From what I can tell, is this is the original Blaster Master on a Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And maybe they tweaked it and they cropped the screen and stuff. That's all it is. And maybe it has the advantage of saving or something. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those weird port versions of from an NES game to a Game Boy type deal. I
Yeah.
was thinking of Blaster Master Boy. That's why I got mixed up. That's what I was thinking
Oh
originally. That's what
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking of, and that was a Bomberman game for the original Game Boy that they threw Blaster Master title on there, which had nothing to do with Blaster Master. So yeah, that one might be okay, but I rather play it on the NES than the Game Boy version would be my take.
Yeah. The other Game Boy game released in the month of June was Kirby Tilt and Tumble, which I feel like would be interesting because that was one of those
Didn't you have to
Game
move it
Boy.
and feel it, gyro
Yeah, you
stop it or
had to
something?
tilt it or whatever. So I mean, the Switch does have
Ugh.
gyro in it. If they enabled gyro in it, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd say just out of to experience how they would play that on a modern system and compare it to how accurate it is. That could be really enjoyable just for a change of pace. Give you a taste of a Wii game, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if it works well, that'd be a fun one. Now that
Yeah.
I've closed Tears of the Kingdom,
Hmm.
I can finally start playing some of these other titles.
Exactly. And these are quick pick up and plays. That's what's great about these.
Hmm. Um, and then the other major release was there was 4 Genesis games released this month,
All right. Loving
which are
me some
awesome.
Sega. Yeah.
They all look great too. Like they're
Hmm.
picking start off with Revenge of Shinobi,
Hmm.
freaking masterpiece.
Yep.
I mean, Jesus. You got and then you got 2 Zelda likes. with Landstalker, which is a very expensive Genesis cartridge.
Yeah, it is. I wish I would have bought it back when it was like $20, box complete when I used to get the opportunity, but it was isometric, so I just never did it. I'm like, I'm very picky with my isometric games. If it's isometric, I need a mouse. Doing that with a D-pad just didn't sound appealing at the time. I'm sure you can understand what I'm talking about.
Still doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other hit list here? Oh,
Crusader of
Crusader. Now that's super expensive. That one. That
Sounds
one's
very
sick. Yeah, that's some sick money on that one. That which I'm glad that they're actually porting games like that because let's get these good games out there. Let's not have it be blocked by such a ridiculous price tag. I'm glad that they're porting this stuff over. And that one I have played a little bit, Crusader of Senti, and it really is Link to the Past on the Sega Genesis at the end of the day. A good knockoff, if that's a nice way to put it.
That actually might be one that we need to revisit sometime.
Yeah, put that on a homework list one of these days.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool one. Maybe I'll start making the Perlers again. I haven't done the Perlers since season
There you
1.
go. You're well overdue. You always knock those out great.
Yeah, I haven't done them since season 1. I did a couple for premium with some games that we released with Super
cool.
Hockey, and I did one for Robot Named Fight, but I haven't done anything in
no shit. And then save the best for last announcing.
Heck yeah. I got the classic Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh man, can never get enough of that game. Never get enough.
And I mean, I love that one too because it's part of the trilogy. To me, it's always the middle child of the trilogy. You get to shoot upward, the Genesis version.
That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
And really, it's not a trilogy anymore. There's 4 of them, maybe even 5 at this point now, because you have Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins on the PlayStation Portable.
Yep.
And then now
the Resurrection one, or what is it called?
Resurrection one.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that Resurrection one was pretty tough. I played that one a little bit, and I think I got halfway through, and I just haven't gone back to it.
Well, there's just something to be said about the pixel perfect jumping and everything of the original Ghouls and Ghosts.
I agree.
And super.
Yeah, when it came to that one, Ghouls and Ghosts, if you died, it was your fault, and I could accept it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, the game isn't, there's something screwed up. No, you're playing that on a CRT. That's all you, dude. It was very responsive.
I also remember, like, back in the day, this was one of the few that made me realize that, oh no, I've played Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and I just assumed they were the same game. I'm like, oh no, I need to look into Genesis. This is a masterpiece. This is its own thing.
Man. Yeah, it's so funny how the dynamic was. You could double jump Super Nintendo, or you could shoot up in this one, pick your poison,
Yeah. I mean, I think another cool topic that we could talk about in the future, it require a little research beforehand, but it's NES games that were ported to Genesis.
Oh, I love those. Actually, I actually went on a collecting binge in the past on that because it was so cool. Like one that comes to mind that I did was Bart versus Space Mutants. They had that on NES and they had it on Genesis, and I'm like, on the NES, it's like a hot mess compared to the Genesis version. I mean, the game is a rough game. Let's be honest. It's not the best game in the world.
Well,
but Genesis
and you
version
got
cleaned up.
You got games like that. You got games like Battletoads.
Yeah.
But then you have games that were not 1 for 1, but were better. Even Action 52 was better trash games. Better trash games on Sega Genesis.
You said Battletoads, Double Dragon versus Battletoads. That's a good one too to compare.
Battletoads itself.
Yeah, Battletoads itself. I think it's easier on the Sega Genesis actually.
You can actually beat one of the sections single player that you couldn't, or a double player that you can't beat on NES. Because there's a spot on the NES where you can't progress further.
Really? Okay.
2-player, yeah.
Interesting.
And you can on Genesis.
So it was probably like an update, so they made sure it was a little bit fairer or easier or whatever at the time. But it was pretty cool. Yeah,
but yeah, that'd be a cool one, the cool little fun episode. Like, what games can we find that?
I agree. Yeah.
Because there's even a game called Wardner that was released on Genesis and also released on the Famicom.
Really? I didn't know about that one.
It was a port of an arcade game, and that was one of the ones that I had played at Hobe's other place in Cedar Lake, Indiana, at the arcade.
Cool.
I hadn't realized what the hell that game was until I was going through a MAME list of arcade games, and then I heard the music, and I'm like, it was like one of those things where I'm like, my nostalgia hit me, and I'm like, I've been looking for this game for years. And it's called Hyros. But it's called Wardner in Japan, and so they actually ported it as Wardner to Genesis,
Got
and
it.
it's Wardner in Famicom, and it's a little cool platforming game.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, the music is badass too. But yeah, so that'd be a fun one just to go over the different buckets that would fit into.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely. I'm down for
NES,
that one in the future.
gotta write that one down because I already
Yeah,
have
because
the
I
other one.
yeah that one I could talk about because I have my fair share of them because I kind of went through a stint getting those just for the comparison sake of things.
Because then there's the inverse of that, which
Hmm.
is or Commodore 64 games ported to NES.
Yeah, you're right. They did have that. Heck, you can even go as crazy as like when you said Battletoads. I'll go back to that. There's Battletoads on the Game Boy. There's Battletoads on Sega Genesis, and there's Battletoads on NES. And the Game Boy one is a completely different game, and it's still pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Well, like the Commodore 64 one's interesting because you have the angry video game nerd like complaining about games where you have to press up to jump.
Yeah.
And that's usually 9 times out of 10 a holdover from the Commodore 64 because you only had one button. So
Hmm.
usually the other button was an action and you would just use the jump button on the joystick.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like that's a lot of it is just bad porting. They didn't
Yeah.
need an extra button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's too much work, I guess, to put it on a button instead of, you know, just keep it on the D-pad. Let's jump it up.
exactly.
Hmm.
So that does cover our topic.
Yeah.
I feel like the Switch Online, there's some good stuff there. It's interesting.
Yeah. The Sega
Um,
stuff's all knock out of the park. That's for sure.
yeah, and then I feel like that's better than the PlayStation Classics that they offered us.
Oh,
'Cause,
definitely. Definitely.
yeah. So from a bang for your buck perspective from all
Mhm.
four services, right? So you
Yeah.
got how much do we have to pay a month on Xbox? How much do we have to pay a month on
Mm,
PlayStation? I think PlayStation's $20 a month.
yeah.
I
What's
want
the
to say
Game Pass one?
Xbox.
I
I
can't
think it's
remember.
similar. I think it's like
Yeah,
20 bucks.
I think you're right. They're probably about the same. Let's see, Xbox game.
Um, Humble is $12 to $13 a month. I think it's twelve ninety
Hmm.
nine. So you get 8 games for like $13 a month, and most of those games are $60 games. Um,
Yeah.
and and you get to choose what charity you want them to donate the profits to.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, the Humble one really seems to be the bang for the buck at the end of the day, and I can't argue against that one. I just like that they give you key codes and it's like yours forever.
Yeah.
That alone just speaks volumes and value to me.
And then Switch Online, um, you have a yearly thing, and that for
Hmm.
Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And then if you want the others, it's another yearly thing to
Yeah.
get Game Boy, Genesis, and I want to say is Turbo on there?
N60, N64.
N64. That's
Yeah,
what it.
that's what it is. Yeah, they don't do turbo yet that I'm aware of, but
They
that would be
should.
interesting. They should indeed, But no, they'd have to work out with Konami because they bought Hudson's properties, right? So yeah, we all know how well Konami works out with the gaming world nowadays. Good luck with that.
True, but I mean, we do have a lot of Konami games on Switch, so you never know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true. They're finally figuring out they can make a profit with the stuff still.
yep.
Mm.
Um, so over the last week, I did buy outside of AEW Fight Forever.
Yeah,
I did go and buy Final Fantasy 16. I haven't. I just hooked up the PlayStation yesterday because I'm unpacking my house. So,
yeah.
and that's a giant RPG. Probably not going to get to it, but I would. Um, Then I also got Street Fighter 6 because everybody at Premium wants to do some online fighting or something. So
Yeah,
I did get Street Fighter 6
nice.
and I got Sonic Origins Plus. Sonic Origins Collection Plus.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about that one. I'm on the fence of getting that one eventually when I got a good sample of time. But I've heard a lot of good things. I don't think you'll be disappointed from what I've read.
Well,
We'll
I
see.
do know that all of the Game Gear ones you have to download, they're not on the cartridge.
Yeah.
Um, which is hit or miss. It's really interesting because they gave you a big cardboard box,
Hmm.
but it has like the old WWF little filler hole, the WWF in the old VHS tapes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and there's like a little filler hole. So there's no reason for you to have the oversized cardboard sleeve outside of that. It's just made for like a DVD or something.
Yep.
So they just made the same box. So they didn't have to like create a new box that's form fitting.
Yeah.
Like it's just pretty funny to me.
Convenience.
Yeah. Um But yeah, I'll have to see how those are too. A lot of this stuff sealed. The first game that I popped in was AEW, which I'm probably gonna play that a little bit.
Hmm.
And then I also want to go over and play probably Crusader of Senti, as well as I want to try that Kirby Tilt and Tumble.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try to squeak out some tilt and tumble myself on that one probably, and
And maybe we could follow up next time we
yeah,
record. We'll follow up on that.
see how your experience worked out with the motion on that, because that'd be interesting to see how that old of technology works with the Switch's gyros.
It'd be awesome if it's like perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
they might
yeah.
be. I think it's gonna either work great or it's gonna work like crap. I don't think there's gonna be a middle ground on that.
It's gonna be a funny one to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll install Doom Eternal. That
All
would be
right. I'm looking
that'd
forward to
be a
your
fun.
opinion on that one.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Um, and then outside of that, I think we'll have to talk about YouTubers and selling their collections and the
Yeah.
gaming community as a whole.
Yeah.
If is this a big pandemic? Is this a
Hmm.
big thing? Is it just a couple people that are doing it? Like
True.
we'll just because I know some other things that have happened where some YouTubers have been buying game stores or conventions and stuff
Yep.
like that too.
I've seen that
And
too.
so like, RGT85 selling his
Hmm.
collection, but it went to another YouTuber who also does this resale thing. And
Hmm.
then it goes to another guy who owns a game store. So it's kind of helping others in the community build other things while they all get content.
Yep.
So is it
Win-wins
all a
all
is
over.
it all a is it all a cool thing?
Hmm.
Is it, what is the reality and what are people doing? And
Yeah.
also like our own perspectives on, because as I said, I've changed in my so that's a cool one to talk about for
Hmm.
next episode.
I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah. I think it's a good time for us to call the episode. It's been about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Good amount of time. Just like last time, I'm gonna upload this pure on YouTube and no fancy schmancy editing. And then we'll have some cool intros and stuff on the actual podcast, as always.
Sounds like a plan, sir.
Yep.
It was fun.
Uh, all right. Since you're not currently doing anything crazy
Mm.
online,
Yeah.
um, I'm on with premium still. We're doing a lot of stuff. What's going on
Okay.
in premium right now is we've just been doing our summer sale. So essentially, our warehouse, they dug out a few games. We actually had a few copies of the deluxe edition of Robot Named Fight, and it sold out in 30 seconds
Wow.
when it went up last week. Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know when it was going up because I'm in Hawaii time. So I woke up and there was like this whole thing, people asking me if there are copies of the game. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know what time it was going up, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
That was all we had.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So I think that they're digging out some Demons Tier Plus next. There are some other ones because I mean, essentially, why we have extra is because we hold few aside for damages, or if we shipped you a game and it got lost, we want to have one to replace it and just say sorry, you
Yeah.
can't have it now. So at this point, though, these are the last of the bunches, and then it's completely retired. We retire titles
Hmm.
once we're done. Um, if we're gonna order more, it'll stay out of retirement though. Like if we're gonna order more cards, because we don't try to make things limited. But if I create a collector's edition or a limited edition, I'm not reprinting too. Um, so that's what's going on right now. In the fall, we're looking at a fall series of announcements. We'll do a whole big direct and a YouTube video for all that stuff. Like my team will put together some really, really cool announcements with that one that are coming up. It's going to be pretty badass.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we're waiting on Super Dungeon Maker, which is the Zelda-like game, to be finished. So that way we can publish that physically. So the other games that were for pre-order, Bobby 67 that we talked about earlier, where I
Hmm.
linked up with him, the developer, and Wife Quest. Both of those games are in the process of being in production. So we're always
Cool.
busy at Premium doing stuff. I got team all over the world working on crazy stuff, and we have a good time, and should be fun.
I'm glad
Uh,
people are doing it, man. Keep them
eh,
physicals alive somehow.
Exactly. And the thing is, as the market takes a shit on all of us, and things continue to spiral down, we just move slow. So it doesn't affect us at all. We just keep on making cool stuff. If people support it, we can keep on doing it.
Best way to do it at the end of the day.
That's the way. Um, Anyways, everybody, appreciate you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Take it easy, guys.